I'm a corporate recruiter, the headless headhunter, and I'm here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The resume we have up first is looking for a front-end developer intern, and they just sent me a job description for an Amazon intern, which, couple of things. One, when you're looking to get the qualifications up here, you want to use an aggregate of multiple jobs so you can build your resume based on that. A singular job is not going to be enough. And by the time this video airs, that position has probably been filled, along with, I'm not a FANG recruiter. I've recruited a lot of tech people, but it's not been for FANG. They've been for Fortune 500 companies, but there's more than FANG. So this person sent in the resume for the internship, and the meter yeet of this was a definite yeet. I could not find anything. The formatting is awful, and yeah, I mean, the formatting is awful, and I could not find basically anything I needed to move them forward. So what I would be looking for in a front-end developer intern, on average, is going to be a basic knowledge of the tech stack. Sorry, my dog is doing weird stuff. What are you doing? Why are you just snorting off in the corner? You want a basic knowledge of the tech stack. So languages, libraries, SQL Cloud, and in addition, you don't need to specify front-end developer for an intern. Interns are a little bit weird in that you can get away with not being specialized unless it's a master's or doctorate or PhD. So you can just say software engineer intern, but once you're looking for your first full-time role, that is when you actually need to specify for your tech stack. But that's kind of all we're looking for, is just those quick things. So not a ton. Internships are, by nature, they're not expecting you to be a master at the craft. You are there to learn and take criticism. Hence, these 2 bullet points. So formatting-wise, this is a hot mess and an absolute disaster. It's very possible during my meter yeet they had some of the skills I was looking for, but I could not find them. You never want to do this with your resume. Whatever this is this person did, never do that. And I'm not here to, I'm not trying to rag on you too much, but never do this. What you want is it to look like this, and this is how you do it. That the link below, it's on my website under, how to get a job, but you want your resume to look like this. I could spend most of this video's time talking about the formatting, but if you watch the meter yeet episode 23 or 24, I think, you will see that I got so lost in all of this stuff that I could barely get past this. You never want to have this much bolding. Like, nothing here should be bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. Nothing here should be blue. You can, it's fine to have these be blue. That's okay. But nothing beyond your hyperlinks in your contact information should be blue. Nothing should be bolded except this and this. If you notice, I do not bold this. I do not bold everything here, and there is a good reason for that. It makes it harder to read. Remember, we have 15 seconds to read your resume, and we had 40 resumes before you and 40 resumes after you. The more bolding you have, the more it distracts us from reading your bullet points. So none of that. In addition to the actual bullet points, which is so hard for me to read here, I found 1 or 2 stuff that I was looking for. React was good, API was good, UI UX. I am missing JavaScript, HTML and CSS, which is pretty critical for it, which, heck, even in the job description that you sent for Amazon, the very first thing they ask for is JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I don't see that anywhere in your resume. Maybe I missed it, entirely probable, because this resume is very difficult to read, but that was the very first thing they mentioned, and that is what we need to know. If you're going for front end and you don't have JavaScript, HTML, and CSS in basically your first line under a job or an internship, you're probably going to get rejected. That I understand it's basic, but you need that in your resume. Not everyone has it. I know the comments already. The flame, I can hear it boiling up, but if it is assumed that you have X on your resume, we are going to assume you do not have it. Because every single time a hiring manager or recruiter makes that assumption, guess what? They end up not having it, and we wasted our time and their time. That's 30 minutes out of their day that is wasted that could have been done in a pre-screen. So if it's not on your resume under a job description, internship, or project, and you do not show how you used it, and the reason or result of using it, it does not exist in your resume, and that is this person's big problem. In addition, they did not show how they can work well with others or take direction and criticism. Those are critical for interns. You don't need to fill your entire resume with it, but I need at least a bullet point for each of those. So this is why you're getting rejected, is you don't have even the qualifications that you linked me. Because they said JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I don't see it. I don't know where that is. I see Tailwind CSS, but I don't know if that's the same thing or not, which I'm sure I'm going to get flamed for, but I can kind of count that as CSS, but maybe not. And I did see React. I didn't see the rest of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, you're missing the basics, because remember, a resume is a minimum qualification document. That's what these are. These are not keywords that we use to hunt. Recruiters don't call them keywords, all right? We call them the minimum qualifications. And if you don't meet the minimum qualifications by having JavaScript, HTML, or CSS, you are going to get rejected. That's just the rule, because you've shown that you do not meet the minimum qualifications. So let me know in the comments below, well, why you disagree. I'm right about that one. I will stand on that hill till my dying breath. But please subscribe, hit that bell, and if you need more help, you can come on my Twitch chat every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. That is where I review these. That is where I get the qualifications from, and that is where I can give a little bit more help than this I can do in this YouTube format. So let's go to the next resume. Oh, by the way, before, this person has a 150 to 1 ratio, so it's not just me. This person has been getting rejected left and right, and that is why. They have over 150 applications to a single interview. I would imagine it's way worse than that, probably 250 to 300. So let's go to the next resume. This resume is of a applications developer in Poland. So this is a bit confusing to me. I want to be clear, I've never worked in Poland, but maybe I'll start. Is right now they have a bad IT market in Poland. Some of their friends are looking to change their job for over a year now, but despite that, they're getting job offers and headhunters reaching out to you via LinkedIn, even when you're not actively looking. This includes some big players in FANG. I would like to know if that's because of my CV or something else, or just maybe I got lucky with technology niche. Thanks in advance. Could you ping me via email if you decide to read my CV? I will not be able to, no. So, I'm gonna not necessarily look for the keywords in this one. I think this is a good time to tell people about what to do with your LinkedIn profile. There's a lot of misconception about what to do with your LinkedIn profile, of how you need to optimize it to get recruiters like me to hunt you. And while there are tactics you can do to do that, I think it's now a good time to explain what those are and what the reason is. So how headhunting works at its basic level, this is the gist of it, so there's a lot more complicated stuff, is a company will come to me and say, hey Lee, I am having trouble filling a line cook position. And I will then go, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Company, let me go find a line cook for you. So what I will do after getting the qualification from them, and there's a whole lot of other stuff, is I will go on LinkedIn and I will make what is called a Boolean search. I will basically put in stuff that if I can find it, it shows you're qualified. So basically, I'm going to be putting in the qualifications into LinkedIn, and it's going to sort people based on if they have those or not. Not in the order, just if they have them. What most people make a mistake on is they think they need to make their LinkedIn pretty. They need to get every single connection, and they need to work that line. What you actually need to do is just copy paste your resume into LinkedIn. That's it. So if this person, who I don't know if they did or not, just copy pasted this, which I assume are the qualifications they're going to be looking for, recruiters will find them in that Boolean search. You don't need to pay $1,000. You don't need to do all this other stuff. All you have to do is do this with your resume and then copy paste it and put it in your LinkedIn. And if you're applying for multiple roles, put all those different things in your LinkedIn as well, because they're probably not going to read the actual LinkedIn itself. What they're going to be doing is just looking to see if you ping on their qualification Boolean, and then they're going to message you and dig a little bit deeper. And the fact is, most people don't do that. You all you need to do is just copy paste your LinkedIn into it, your resume into your LinkedIn, and you will get hit more by headhunters. Although there is an exception to that. So if you notice at the very beginning, I said a company has trouble finding talent, so they come to me. If a company does not have trouble finding talent, such as full stack software engineers right now, or I guess HR or recruiters, ironically themselves, they will not go to a headhunter in the first place. So you have to just copy paste your resume and put it in to your LinkedIn. But the corollary to that is they have to be looking for those skills in the first place. And if your job market is not good, they may not find it. In this case, this person has a niche skill that is hard to find, but is in their LinkedIn or gives something as a clue to it, so they are getting reached out to. So that is how you get hit up more by recruiters, is you just do what I tell you for the resume and just copy paste that and put it in LinkedIn. But again, you need to have headhunters in the first place actually reaching out to you. And sometimes some industries are just not going to hire us to search for people if they're over competitive. They hire us for niche skills or skills they are having trouble finding. So, does this meet the keywords or whatever? If they're getting hit up by recruiters, they probably do. And I don't know enough about Poland or this particular thing to judge based on those qualifications, but I can tell you why you're getting hit up by people like me. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. This person has a 1:75 ratio, which is not great, but also not the worst as their entry level, and getting your first entry level job is always going to be the hardest job search of your life. So for most people, this would be like a D- resume. For an entry level new grad, this is actually a C-. So a 1:75 for an entry-level new grad, not the worst, not as bad as you think. We want it better, but they currently, what we're looking for is, my brain just shut off completely there, is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture, extra language, and Git. So that is what we're going to be looking for. And away we go. Oh, I hate this formatting. Okay. So you want your formatting to look like this. This should not be bolded, and this should be in one line. I think you should be able to fit this into one line. Oh, you double majored in economics. You might have to put 2 lines in that. Technical skills sections can be deleted. They do not count. Nothing here should be bolded. But let's actually see. Also, this should be in one line and italicized. So, prove content creator experience by building a dashboard, at least to update profiles. I need to know your stack here. Implement tracking users. Okay, this is junk because you don't tell me the stack. Current investment is for technical aerospace. Okay, that's good with sectors. Wrote Python scripts. Okay, so I'm actually shocked that this is getting 1:75. It may just be the area where you're at, but this is not good. Okay, there's like nothing here I need. I do like Python. Okay, there it is. Python and Docker, but that's back end. Projects. Okay, I'm actually shocked this is getting a 1:75. I'm wondering if that's an accurate ratio, or maybe they're just area. But you made me a note that I just added the AutoDB program. I'm not sure it will tip the scales, but I think it's the best work I've done. So I don't know what this is. This actually does use some of the stuff, but you don't tell me. So you have a formatting issue partly, but your biggest issue is a bullet point problem. You need to show these qualifications in your bullet points. The problem is, if you don't, they're going to assume you don't have it. So you cannot just say, I have a skills section, these are the skills I worked for. You need to show here, which is improved content creator experience by building a dashboard using JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, HTML, and CSS. Enabling users to do blah, 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 blah. Implement a tracker of users by, and then you need to put the keywords in. The bones of your sentence are almost there. You actually did the hardest part, which is putting in the how and the reason to result. all you have to do is just put in those qualifications. I need to see these in those keywords, because it doesn't matter that you did any of this. Well, actually, CI/CD pipelines is one that I would be looking for. It matters that you used Python, JavaScript, HTML. Like Python, Bash, and React is great. In TypeScript, I just need to see how you use that. So just say created a CL tool using da 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 da. That's all I'm missing. You just need to plug these in, and I think you're going to have a lot of success. You do have PHP, Python, and Docker, which is good, and you do have APIs, which is solid. I would be missing AWS or any type of cloud, although it's probable that you may not have done that. So if you don't, but you just need to put the qualifications in. I mean, that's your biggest issue here. If you fix the formatting and then just plug and chugged these into the right parts, you would probably get a 1 in 30, 1 in 40. Like, that's all the changes. So while this would not really pass for a lot of times, it shouldn't take you more than an hour to fix this, and then you can just start sending it in. Because remember, it doesn't matter how impressive it is if you don't show that you have the minimum qualifications. Because I don't know why this is impressive, right? It's good that you used Python, TypeScript, React, but like, I don't know what an AutoDB diagram is. I don't know what a full Ubuntu Mac and integrated thing is. You need to make it simpler. Remember, a layman or somebody who's non-technical, which is, I guess, a layman, may be reading your resume. So this does not pass, and I would yeet this. Although, I will say again, it's like a barely yeet. So all you have to do is just add this stuff and fix the formatting, and I think you're going to be golden. You're not going to need any help. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a Python software engineer who I think is the EU. I'm not fully sure. Typically, EU numbers have these two instead of the one for the United States, so I'm going to guess this is a part of the EU. The qualifications are slightly different for a Python backend software engineer for the EU and the US. They're mostly the same, but there's like 1 or 2 things that are slightly different. So this person, we do not know their ratio, but they are transitioning from game programming to backend programming. They've been told my unrelated experience shouldn't be included, and that's mostly the case. You do want to make sure it's not unrelated experience is not included. So what we're going to be looking for a Python software engineer, backend Python software engineer in the EU, is Python, SQL, any of them, Docker, Kubernetes, Django, Flask, cloud and its words, so like AWS and EC2, I think, or whatever the others are for Azure and GCP, RESTful/fast APIs, I think that was a specific EU difference, Git, CI/CD, and a bonus for full stack, DevOps, ML, Ops, object-oriented programming, which is OOP, and multi-threading. So your formatting is off. I don't like this formatting. Please use this formatting. In addition, what is your education? Education is, yeah, you've got, okay. So your education is in a BS degree, which is really good. You want to put that at the top. Remember, your education should be here. And in addition, if you graduated over 3 years ago, you don't need to put when you started or graduated, just put status graduated. All right, that's all I need. So you should say, so the very first thing up over here should be bachelor's in computer engineering with status graduated. Your summary, transition back into programming. So you almost got it right. All you need to do is transitioning to backend is Python software engineer, backend Python software engineering from game programming. All right, so that's all you need to do is just this and say you're transitioning to a backend Python software engineer. That's all. The rest of this doesn't matter. All right, so freelance backend. That's fine. Again, formatting is off. Developed employed backend systems using Django and Fast API. Good. PostSQL, Redis, Celery. Okay, that's actually some of what I'd like. And render Docker is good. The problem is, where's the Python? You imply that you use Python, but you don't show me the Python. I need to see the Python. I need to see the snake. All right? Python needs to be one of the first things. Say developed and deployed backend systems using Python, Django, and Fast API. You need this. You cannot have it be assumed. If it's assumed you have it in your resume, you do not have it. That is the rule. you actually have the rest of this, which is actually pretty solid. Let's do C++, Unity, that's fine. Teams, all right, so projects. So this is okay to have. I actually, I do not put co-founder, just put game programmer. And I would leave this with just one, right? Just one bullet point, because this is 5 years of experience. That's really solid. They love that. So just put game programmer 5 years. All right, that shows that you've been at the same place, and then you can have a singular bullet point that just states it, and then we can go into the project. So, using Django and SQL, okay, good. This I don't care about. Incorporated advanced search filtering uses NoSQL again, okay. Where is your Python? Sir or ma'am, where is your Python? You state you are going into backend Python. You have almost everything that implies Python, but you do not show Python. I need you to never assume. If it's assumed in your resume, it's assumed you do not have it. That is the rule. That is one of the biggest rules in reviewing resumes. If it's assumed that you have it, it is assumed you do not have it. PyTorch is solid. REST API is SQL. So your formatting is off. You need to fix that. You need to fix a couple of stuff, but you need to add Python. And the only other thing I was really missing was cloud. It's possible you do not have it, but I would prefer you have cloud. Everybody basically really wants cloud. So that's really all I can do for this, because you just don't have a lot of the stuff. I can see this getting interviews. Like, this is not the worst resume ever. You have most of what I want. It's just you don't have the actual Python or cloud, and it's formatted wrong. So fix those issues, and you should be having a much better chance of getting a job. Assuming this is in the EU, which if it is, these are your keywords. But let me give you the US keywords real quick. So this right now, EU. For the US, these, again, mostly the same. It's just one or two things are slightly different. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a C++ software engineer? I don't actually know. They stated they use this for any job posting C++ developers, but it is best suited towards embedded radar system roles. So I couldn't find the keywords because it was too broad, but there were one or two things I think I saw real quick that could be an issue. Although it does seem this person is getting like a 1 to 25, so it seems like their ratio is pretty solid anyway. So I will judge this what I can, and we'll, yeah. So first, this should be in a bullet point, and then you can have a sub bullet point for this. That is only the few times you can have a sub bullet point. And you don't need to tell me when you started. You just need to tell me that you graduated. That's all. Second, collaborated with the other thing is you said open to relocation. So there is a reason up here I have it like this. So your phone number needs to be here. Your email needs to be here. And then your LinkedIn or GitHub needs to be there, or whatever portfolio. Then under that, you put U.S. citizen in your area. Now, or green card holder. If you are applying to remote jobs that are fully remote, you don't need to put where you're located. Although it can be, actually, no, you should still put where you're located. If you are applying to roles where you plan to relocate, you do not put your location, and you do not put open to relocate, because that is a yellow flag. I know that's going to sound weird, but how it works is you never want to put open to relo. Because there are a lot of times, and there was actually a post I read on Reddit like the other day exactly of this happening, and most every recruiter can have this happen, is you see a candidate say open to relo. They're like, great, perfect. Recruiter pushes them through, and then when it comes time to relocate, you know what they do? They don't relocate. And then you wasted a lot of the company's time. So what you need to do is, instead of saying open to relocation, this is one of the few times you want a summary. And the summary will just say, moving to X, which is the location you're moving to, by Y, which is the date, probably a month or two, can move earlier if needed. That way they know that even if you are planning on relocating, you are going to move regardless of whether or not you had the job. Because that is what they're afraid of. They're afraid of giving you the job, declining the other candidates, and then you don't show up on your first day because you didn't want to move and you didn't thought of it. Putting that summary shows you are open to relocating. So all you need to say is moving to X. And again, you cannot just use this for everything. You have to say X location specifically so that you can relocate. That does not apply for fully remote roles. For fully remote roles, you know, put your general location. They understand it's going to be remote. But if you are planning on relocating for an on-site role, you need to have that or else it will not happen. But I'm going to guess these are probably the correct keywords that I'm looking for. I would want SQL, I would want C++, I would want OOP, Python, and API. So I think the rest of this is actually really solid. Again, I don't have any faults with this. I just could not find the exact list because radar technician and specifically developer are two very broad roles, and I would need this defined a little bit more to find the qualifications for it. But otherwise, I think these are written correctly. You just need to fix the open to relocation and fix this, and I think you're going to do very well, which it sounds like you already are. It's a 1 in 25. So that's good. So that's all I can do for this resume. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. It helps me out. Tell me below what you thought of this video in your comments. I love to hear people's thoughts, even if, you know, so I have thick skin. I can take it. And if you need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST at headlessheadhunter. At Twitch. Oh my gosh, can I not even get my own one? I swear I will do this. At the links in the description below. Y'all can find it. It's what I said in the first part. I will see you all in the next video where I help you get ahead of your job search.